Commander Threx stood in the ruined command center, his four eyes scanning the tactical displays with growing disbelief. The holographic projection flickered, showing the aftermath of what should have been a simple territorial engagement. His mandibles clicked in frustration as he replayed the battle data for the 7th time. "This cannot be accurate," he muttered, his translator rendering his words in sharp clipped tones. His second-in-command, Sub-Commander Veckril, approached cautiously. "Sir, the data has been verified 3 times. Our losses are substantial." Threx's crest flared in anger. "Substantial? We lost 47 soldiers, 6 armored vehicles, and complete control of the Valley Pass, against what we believed was a human advance battalion." He paused, his voice dropping to a dangerous whisper. "Tell me again what intelligence has discovered." Veckril's skin paled to a sickly gray. "Sir, we did not engage a battalion. We fought a recon team, 6 humans, led by someone called Lieutenant Marcus Hale." The silence that followed was deafening. Threx's combat suit creaked as his muscles tensed involuntarily. 6? "Yes, Commander, 6. For a species that had conquered 12 star systems, the revelation was incomprehensible. The Krillix Empire prided itself on military precision, overwhelming force, and tactical superiority. They had studied human combat doctrine for months before initiating contact. The humans were supposed to be predictable, linear thinkers who relied on brute force and numerical advantage. Lieutenant Marcus Hale had not received that particular memo. The engagement had begun 3 planetary rotations ago. Threx's battalion of 200 elite Krillix warriors had been tasked with securing the Nephra Valley, a strategic choke point that would allow their forces to push deeper into human-contested territory. Intelligence suggested a human forward-operating base with minimal defenses. What they found instead was chaos incarnate. The first indication that something was wrong came when the advance guard simply vanished. No distress calls, no weapons fire, just silence. Threx had attributed it to equipment failure and sent a second squad. They found the first squad unconscious, their weapons missing, and strange markings spray-painted on their armor in human script. "You're welcome for the nap." Then the explosions started. Not the massive, thunderous detonations of standard military ordnance, but precise, calculated strikes that crippled vehicles without destroying them. Bridges collapsed moments after patrols crossed. Supply caches erupted in flames just as reinforcements arrived. It was as if the humans could predict their every move, because they could. Hale's team had spent 2 weeks studying Krillix tactical patterns, learning their communication frequencies and mapping their decision trees. While the Krillix relied on their superior technology and established doctrine, Hale embraced the one advantage humanity had always possessed: unpredictability born of desperation and creativity. "They used our own protocols against us," Veckril explained, pulling up intercepted communications. "Lieutenant Hale learned our command language. He issued false orders, redirected patrols into ambush zones, and convinced half our forces that they were hunting a human division." Threx watched the recordings with mounting horror and grudging respect. In one clip, a Krillix patrol responded to what they believed was an urgent distress call from their southern flank. They rushed to provide support, leaving their position undefended. Hale's team slipped through the gap, planted charges on the communications relay, and disappeared before anyone realized the distress call had been faked using captured equipment. In another instance, the humans had used basic physics in ways the Krillix had never considered. They collapsed a cliff face by exploiting natural fault lines with minimal explosives, creating a rock slide that buried 3 armored transports. The Krillix engineers had declared the cliff geologically stable. They had been correct by their standards. They simply hadn't accounted for human improvisation. "Show me the final engagement," Threx commanded. The hologram shifted, displaying the valley's northern ridge. This was where Threx had personally led the assault, determined to end what he still believed was a significant human force. 200 warriors against an entrenched enemy. The battle should have been decisive. It was, just not in the way he'd expected. Hale's team had prepared the battlefield like a master chess player arranging pieces. Every rock, every tree, every shadow served a purpose. They used mirrors and holographic projectors stolen from Krillix supply depots to create the illusion of dozens of soldiers. They weaponized the local wildlife, using pheromones to drive territorial predators into Krillix formations. They even hacked the Krillix combat suits, making minor adjustments to targeting systems that caused friendly fire incidents. And when Threx's forces finally located what they thought was the human command post, they found 6 humans eating rations around a campfire, their weapons stacked casually nearby. "We were confused," Veckril admitted. "They made no attempt to flee." Lieutenant Hale simply stood up, smiled, and said, "Took you long enough." That was when Threx realized the entire valley was one massive trap. The command post sat at the center of a carefully constructed kill zone. The humans had seeded the area with mines, automated turrets, and their own bodies acting as bait. When the Krillix closed in for the kill, the trap sprang shut. In the chaos that followed, Hale's team demonstrated the terrifying efficiency of human close-quarters combat. While Krillix warriors were trained for formation fighting with energy weapons, the humans moved like liquid death, knives, improvised weapons, hand-to-hand techniques that exploited every weakness in Krillix biology. Threx himself had faced Hale for exactly 7 seconds before a flashbang grenade left him disoriented and defeated. When his vision cleared, his weapon was gone, and Hale was already engaging his guards. The battle ended when human reinforcements finally arrived, an actual battalion responding to Hale's delayed distress call. By then, the Krillix forces were scattered, demoralized, and combat ineffective. "What did he say?" Threx asked quietly. "When he left you alive." Veckril hesitated. "He said, 'Tell your commanders that was just reconnaissance. You don't want to see what happens when we're actually trying.'" Threx deactivated the hologram and stood in the darkness of the ruined command center. His pride as a Krillix warrior was shattered, but something else had taken its place, a cold, calculating respect for an enemy that refused to fight by anyone's rules but their own. "Prepare a full report for High Command," he ordered. "Include everything, especially our underestimation of human adaptability." "Sir, this will affect our invasion timeline." "Good," Threx interrupted. "Because we need to reconsider everything we thought we knew about humanity. If 6 of their scouts can dismantle a battalion, what can their armies do?" As Veckril departed to compile the report, Threx looked out over the valley where Marcus Hale had taught the Krillix Empire a lesson they would never forget. Humans didn't fight fair. They didn't follow expectations, and they certainly didn't need superior numbers to win. They just needed to be human. And that, Threx realized with a shudder, was the most terrifying weapon of all.